Hi, I'm Ryan McChesney, and welcome to my countdown in the top 5 greatest moments in the 50-year history of the Kansas City Royals. I am counting down my own personal opinion of my top 5 moments, and the Royals have been around for 50 years, and there was a period during my childhood years where they were terrible. They were the worst team in baseball, and we all laughed at them, and I would drive by Kauffman Stadium and I would see that the stadium was empty and I would say, oh, the Royals must be playing. So it's not like the most illustrious, but it's not terrible either because they've had their share of really great moments. So my top 5 moments, if you've missed it, my number 5 moment was the Game 4 comeback against Houston where they were down 6-2 in Houston, and they came back and won in the 8th inning, and it was one of the best comebacks in baseball history. Probably, I can't find a bigger comeback than that. Number 4 was the wild card game, which started the crazy run in 2014 to get them back into relevancy. There was a 29-year period where they had missed the playoffs and they were just irrelevant in baseball. And this game was probably the greatest baseball game that I've ever seen. And it was probably one of those moments where I'll never forget. So just that whole freaking game, and then Salvi's hit at the end and his emotions at the end, it was just incredible. So that was my number 4 moment. My number 3 moment is coming up, and it's a moment that I don't really remember because I wasn't old enough to remember, but I've heard enough about it. And I know that it was just, I know where it stands in Royals baseball lore. I'm going to talk about the Game 6 comeback and one of the greatest calls in baseball history with Don Denkinger making, what some believe to be the wrong call. And I guess people with eyes would say that he made the wrong call. And the Royals were down 1-0 in the 9th inning in Game 6 at home to the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, the series, I went back and I've watched this series, and it was kind of a boring, actually. I don't know, maybe it was, but it was just, maybe because I didn't watch it live, but it was just kind of like a series to me. But, I mean, that's just me, because there wasn't a whole lot of hitting. So the Royals, this game, we were down 1-0, and Charlie Lee Brandt, who pitched his butt off in this game, gave up a run, I think, in the 7th inning. I don't remember. But he gave up a run, and the Royals were down, or I think it was in the 8th inning, and the Royals were down 1-0 in their final 3 outs. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to watch this game in the 8th inning. Or from the 9th inning on, where the Royals were down, and I can't believe I can't imagine myself right now like watching this as it was like live. I would be freaking out. I would be on Facebook and on Twitter just saying how much everybody sucks. Dick Hauser should be fired. Quisenberry should quit. So 1-0, here we go, and there's old Whitey Herzog. We're at number 36 seconds in the video. Oh, geez, they're doing this old switcheroo thing. Look at the uniforms are cool. And the old stadium, the old AstroTurf. Who thought that would be a good idea to play on AstroTurf? It took them so long to realize, hey, this kind of sucks playing on this AstroTurf here. And I gotta respect the mustaches. Like, you know how like we were gonna look back on this generation and say, hey, those beards, like the 80s had those mustaches that just like were just, you couldn't. It didn't get any better than that. So here we go. We got Daryl Motley up. Oh no, it was who is this? Who is this? Ryan. They switched for Daryl Motley. George Orta. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, picking his ear. Yep. Look what I found. Yep. Okay. That was a good moment there. I never noticed that. Todd Worrell on the mound. Looks to be intimidating. Old Royals catcher Darryl Porter back there. If Dick Hauser's digging at his ear. You know, if Yost did that, he'd be in trouble. Like, Yost would never hear... If social media were around back then, he would never hear the end of that. That would be a meme forever. Oh, Terry Pendleton, one of my favorite players growing up for the Braves. Uh-oh, here we go. Make your call. What is it? Judgment call. Judgment, total judgment call. No replay. Call stands. Call stands. Oh, no need to argue, Whitey. No need to argue that. It was correct. Correct call. No need to argue that. Hey, Whitey, calm down. It was a judgment call. Bang, bang, play. Look at that. The high technology. I don't know. I guess this would be a pretty good angle. Well, you gotta maybe help to see the base here. Was his foot on the bag, though? Was his foot on the bag? Judgment call. Total judgment call. Let's freeze frame this. Freeze frame it. Was the ball behind... Okay. Them's the breaks, kid. Them's the breaks. Steve Balboni. This guy always looked like he was 50. He was one of my favorite players growing up, too. Just because of the way that he looked and his name. And he was always bald, too. Man had power. I think he hit, what, 35 home runs, 36 home runs in this. Moustakas just broke his home run record this season, last season, so. All right, gotta make this play. Gotta make this play. Jack Clark. Well, Jack Clark doesn't. How did you not make that call, man? That's, well, what's going on here? Is that, like, safe, though, with the catchers like that? Do they always use those helmets, like the hat with the mask? That doesn't seem safe. What a misplay. That's Carlos Correa right there. Now, Carlos Correa would have made that play. Balboni's got some good swing, man. If he got a hold of that, like if that one went straight, it would have been gone. And Balboni would have been a legend forever here in Kansas City. 0-2, man. 0-2, baby. Protect the play, Balboni. Protect it. I don't know why I'm doing that, sorry. Oh, clutch. Clutch hit, Balboni. Love that reaction from that guy. I remember, wow, that's just so genuine, the passion, man. The Royals at this point have been like the Chiefs in the playoffs, where they've gotten close and they've never won, and they've always kind of come up short and choked at the end, losing to the Yankees. So. Onyx. Who names their kid Onyx? He looks like an Onyx, though. Number 2, Onyx Concepcion. Back in the 80s, there was a lot of players, if you notice, there was a lot of players named Concepcion. I don't know, like, what happened, like, in, Puerto Rico or Cuba back in the days, but, like, they just had an influx of Concepcions that came to the States and played baseball.
Gray had come out on deck to bat for Sundberg, but in this situation, what Hauser is telling you is that Sundberg's a good bunter, and he's going to try to get him along, and he's going to save McGray.
Jim Sundberg's a pretty underrated player here in 1985 for the Royals, from what I can tell. Again, I wasn't really paying attention. I wasn't old enough to actually understand what was going on. But he always came up with, it seemed like he was always up in big situations with big hits, and you'll see here he makes the slide of his life in the game. That guy better not be up. That guy better not come up and play. Goodness.
Take a look at the infielders when the pitch goes across home plate. They will be about 15 feet from home plate, trying to get that force at third. That's outside, and it's 2-0.
The pressure, man. Oh, those hairs. That hair. Yes, 80s. Yes, please bring back the 80s. Do something. Come on. That's a strike. That was a strike. Those jackets were amazing. Nobody worked that jacket like Dick Hauser did back in the day.
He bunts in the air, foul, and Porter can't make the play. And a break for Sundberg as he pops it up back to the screen. And that's one thing about a fastball.
Derek Porter had a tough inning here, as you'll see.
Well, especially if it's up in the strike zone, and they tell you, of course, there's conflicting philosophies. If the guy squares around a bunt, he's more apt to pop up the high pitch.
That's a stash. I just can't stop staring at his stash, man.
He squares, he bunts to Clark, who lets it roll foul, and the count is 2.
All right, how many times are you gonna bunt, dude? 0-2. Is it 0-1 and 2? Concepcion. Onyx. Onyx.
Wasn't quite sure what he was going to do with it for a second. Another illustration of his inexperience at first base.
The nerves that must be going on through this team. And the Royals really weren't, they were, I guess, yeah, you know what, they were pretty good. They were good enough to win their division, but nobody really expected them to win the World Series here. So of all the teams that made the playoffs in the 70s and 80s, this team was not one of those that you would expect to win. That's a good play. That's a good play. Look at Terry Pendleton. That guy's just a ball player. Boo. What are they booing, though? That was a good call. That was a bad bunt by Sundberg. I thought Sundberg was going to come up clutch there, but he didn't. Was that and that's the last you'll ever see of Onyx Concepcion. That's sad. Good play though. So I guess that nullifies that bad call though. I guess that nullifies that bad call. Maybe it doesn't. Let's go, Hal. You can audibly. I never noticed that. Here's Hal McRae. Hal McRae's been one of the top Royals of all time here. Did he look at that stance? You kidding me with that? With that big butt out in the air. Again, the mustache. Like, why are we doing this to her? It's crazy, and not it's really different than what. Oh wow, Darryl Porter just missing that. He gets crossed up there, man. Oh no, that's not Onyx. Onyx is still in the game. Woo. Good to hear that. Unk scores the tying run in this game. It's so different to see like the '80s fans out there. Really, like behind the dugout, there's not a whole lot of. I guess they're just sitting there. Whereas, like, if you go back and look at the 14-15 World Series, like people are standing and everybody has like Royals gear on. Not a lot of people have it. They're. I don't know when that changed. When did that like when people started to like have like the apparel for their team like. Um,
And you can see the four fingers held up by Hal Lanier.
better than.
He doesn't have to hold up four, he only has to hold up two because the count's already 2-0. So they'll walk McRae, and Dean Orge is out on deck to pinch hit.
Oh man. Dane Orge, I've never really knew anything that he did other than other than this right here coming up. And this is a testament of you know, having your place in history. One moment can change your life, can change the baseball team, the perceptions, because I think he was a pinch hitter. Was he a pinch hitter? But yeah, you got to step up to the plate. When your number's called, be ready. Christian Colon, Dane Orge. Although Colon was the number 4 pick, it's just a terrible pick. But still, I don't know, love him, but he just wasn't a guy who was going to be a mainstay for the team. And like Dane Orge was you saw him, he just wasn't that great of a hitter, but I guess Hal McRae was the pitcher. This guy was actually due up.
Concepcion at third, Sundberg at second, and it's low, ball one.
So the bases are loaded, and 1 out. This is man, what a moment here. Here we go, Dane. Boom. Boom. Look at that. That is one beautiful slide. Darrell Porter kind of played off the plate, but just one of the greatest slides I've ever seen from a player. Jim Sundberg, just I've never seen a better slide than that ever. Maybe, I don't know. I can't imagine that. What a moment. There's Vince Coleman. Dane Orge actually broke his nose in this. Somebody broke his nose, and in this celebration here. Just crazy moment here, and look at him, he's bleeding. Came up big for the franchise. Getting the blood off his face. There's the rally cap going on. I mean, I can't imagine what the Royals fans must be feeling like right now. Just out of there's Reggie Jackson, that coat. Good for him. That ABC coat. It doesn't get, it's just great stories like this where, a guy, an unsung hero, guy that nobody knew, came up big, and, helped the team win the World Series. The Royals would go on to win Game 7 in Darrell Porter played off, but the Royals would go on to win Game 7 in fashion. I can't believe he broke his nose in that. In just blowout, and everybody got ejected from the Cardinals that game because they were still angry at that one call. I don't know if he would have played off a little bit. I don't know if Darrell Porter could have played that better, but just what a beautiful slide there. What a great moment. And yeah, beautiful. Look how Look how high he gets when he jumps here. I've seen this before. I've seen it a few times. Well, maybe not that high. I thought he got higher. I was thinking George Brett, when George Brett had a moment like that where he jumped really high. But so that was 1985 Game 6, and I got to be honest with you, I heard a lot about that. I don't remember watching that live. I was 1, and so it was maybe 2, and I mean, I can't imagine what the emotions were going on in that city, and so that helped the Royals to get their first World Series win over their former manager in Whitey Herzog. And obviously it goes down in history as one of the worst calls in baseball history because of Don Denkinger, and St. Louis gets up in a hissy fit because of that. But you know what? They still had a 7th game to be played, and people forget that, and everybody in St. Louis forgets that because Denkinger, obviously that's what they're going to cling to because they can't tell themselves that they lost the World Series fair and square, which they did because they still had. Look, you still got to get guys out too. Like that guy got out at third base, and you gotta. Bad calls happen all the time. You got to overcome those. So Royals got a break there, and they ended up winning their first World Series at that moment. So thank you, Don Denkinger. Thank you, Dane Orge. Thank you, Steve Balboni. Tomorrow I'm going to unveil my number 2 moment of all time. And it might be the next day, or it might be, I don't know. Who knows? Or it might be. There's only a situation. It's not going to be from anything from the 90s or 2000s. I've already said that. Although it could be Jason Grimsley getting hit in the head by Ken Harvey with a baseball, but who knows? Or Ken Harvey getting hit in the back with the ball coming from the outfield. Oh man, or Bo Jackson breaking his bat. I don't know, but stay tuned for that. I'm excited for this season, guys. I'm excited. Go Royals!